Bees in the flowers, birds in the trees, nature's beauty in things like these. Rivers and mountains, valleys so wide, stars in the heavens, deep blue they hide. Everyday artists, the old and the new, color each day a bright golden hue. Now that we know you, our story begins. Come and be with us, artists and friends. Da 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 dum, da da dum, da 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 dum, da da da.
I swear I can't figure out what's wrong with these colors. You can't hardly make a mark or nothing. I got my paper wet and I'm rubbing as hard as I can.
What in the world is the commotion over there?
Well, Miss Polly, you said these watercolors, and I got my paper wet. I took one of them out here, and I've been rubbing it on this paper, and I can't get it to do anything.
Oh, Rip, that's not the way you do watercolor.
Well,
you're not supposed to take it out of the pan. And look, here, let's put your paper on this cardboard I have just for that.
Oh, good. Then it'll hold still.
That'll hold it still.
Oh,
all
good.
Right? And you have to get the paper wet, all right?
Wet? Oh.
Yes.
You mean the whole thing?
Right. But before you do that, let me show you how to do the watercolors, all right?
Okay.
All right. Now you just take the water and you get each one wet.
Oh,
See?
each little bucket full of it, huh?
That's right. Each little pan. Sometimes there's, more pans than you have. You just have 4 colors. But you know, that's lucky. If you never have worked with watercolor before, you really should start with 3 colors. So, is this your first time, Rip?
Yes, it is, Miss Polly.
I shouldn't have asked that. I should have guessed. Now, let me show you how you do it.
Okay.
Take the brush, and first you get your paper all wet, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I want you to use yellow and red and then blue. And just put little interesting shapes on your paper, all right?
Yellow and then red and then blue.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'll try it, Miss Polly.
And who knows, after a while you might come up with a good watercolor painting.
Oh, good.
But maybe not the first time.
Let me try it.
Okay. Now, you know, I've got quite a few watercolor paintings, and you have to practice before you get one, all right?
Okay. I'll try my best, Miss Polly.
But you can use paints just like this to paint a picture.
A whole picture? You mean...
Uh-huh.
I
Yes.
don't see how anybody gets this to work, Miss Polly.
Oh, well, if you've had a lot of experience, you can do one like the one I have on the easel.
Oh. Now, Miss Polly, that's pretty, but you mean to tell me you can do that with a set of colors like these?
Well, the colors are watercolors that Mr. Milford Zorns painted this picture. And he used watercolors, and he probably started with a little pan like yours, but his are a little bit different. How do you like that beautiful scene?
Oh, that is pretty,
Isn't that
Miss Polly.
nice? The lake, and you know the name of it's over the lake. And he probably had a French easel and went out and painted it. Would you like for me to show you the kind of watercolors that he used?
Oh, sure, Miss Polly. You got some over there?
That's right. Let's show the school artist the kind of watercolors that Mr. Zorns uses and other artists that are watercolor artists. They come in a tube like this, see? And you squeeze them out on, well, I'll just put some right here on my palette. There. Now that's called Van Dyke Brown, but we probably won't use that in our demonstration. This is my palette, and as you know, I like to paint watercolors, so I have a lot of colors, and this is the one that I use professionally. Over here is so many brushes. You know, watercolor artists like to have a brush for every different thing. You will probably need only one nice big brush. Now, I want to take my paint up here, and I want to talk a little bit about paper. I want to show you two different kinds of watercolor paper. This is a book, a sketchbook, and you could actually go out and sketch a picture right on this paper, and it looks like almost any kind of sketchbook. Then I have another one here I'd like to show you. This is called a watercolor block, and this is really handy because it's glued down to the edges. You know, I had to show Rip how to put a clip on his, but this doesn't need a clip. And I'll use this with some water. I have my water ready. Would you believe I'm going to show you how to use salt? And I have a little sponge here that I like to use. And I have several brushes. Do you know sometimes I use an old toothbrush? I expect you've done that. So, now, let's do it this way. This is the way I want you to do your project, and Rip, this is the way I want you to do your project. Put your water on first, so you dip your brush into the water, and you get the paper all wet. Let me move the salt so you can see. Let's move it up here.
You just get the whole thing wet, huh, Miss Polly?
You paint with just plain water at first. And if you got your water just a little bit dirty when you were mixing, you know, you have to mix a little bit of color, you know, get your pans wet. It won't hurt if you have just a little bit of color in your water. See, I did this in the classroom the other day, and we just discovered all kinds of interesting things that happen with second grade children and first grade children and even older children. Now, got it all wet?
I guess so, Miss Polly.
All right. Now, I'm going to use 3 colors, and I want Rip to use 3 colors. And I want you to start out with yellow. I'll start out with yellow. So, you get yellow paint on your brush. Now, watch how I do it. I put a shape of yellow, and it's not any certain thing, another shape of yellow, and then another one. And sometimes when it's quite wet, you can see it run. Let's just get it even wetter right there so you can see how it runs. It's supposed to run. And then it's supposed to... Now, let me move my water over here. You got your yellow on yours, Rip?
I think so, Miss Polly. Just make little old blotches there, huh?
That's right. Just little shapes. At least 3. Kind of in the center. Now, let's go to red. So get plenty of red on your brush, and you just work your brush right down in that pan of red paint and put it right next to the yellow and even right into the yellow. And discover what happens. Oh, and let's make more than 3 for this one. Let's put red right over it. Do you see what's happening?
It's all mixing in, Miss Polly.
That's right. That's the way it's supposed to do. Do you see a new color, Rip?
Well,
You finding a new color with your yellow and red?
well, let's see. I think it's got red and yellow, and then that one in the middle looks like orange.
That's right. Red and yellow are primary colors, and when they mix together, you get orange. Well, you want to discover what happens when you use the other primary color, blue?
Blue.
Uh-huh. You're lucky, Rip. You just have those 3 colors in your pan there, except you do have black. But don't use black yet, all right?
Okay.
All right, let's put blue on it. I'm putting blue next to yellow. Can you put some blue next to your yellow?
Oh, Miss Polly.
Uh-huh.
Look there.
What's happening? What happened when we put blue next to the yellow?
Now I got another funny looking color there, Miss Polly.
Right. Is it green?
I think it is green.
All right. It's supposed to be green. Sometimes it depends on the colors. Now, mix the blue. Put some blue right on the red. Just as I'm doing. I have blue right on the red. And look, it's running right down here. And just for fun, look what happened when I drug my brush right through.
What in the world is it doing now?
And then turn it around and let it run and make it turn this way and that way and see what happens. Now, did I promise that I'd show you how to use salt?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll stop just a minute, and there's a little secret to salt. Look at your paper. It still must be wet, but if it's shiny wet, like right there, it's too wet. So I want to look where it's not quite so shiny, right here. It's beginning to dry, but it's still wet. Do you understand? And you sprinkle salt just like you were putting enough salt on your French fries.
Oh,
and not
okay.
everywhere, just here and there.
Well, I'll say.
Now we'll look at it a minute, and we'll try to figure out what happens. Is there a scientist that knows what might happen? The salt is thirsty, and it's drinking up the paint. Well, let me show you something else while we're watching that salt. I have a sponge here, and look what I can do with the sponge. I can use the red, and I can make an interesting shape. And I'm making designs. I want to go over here and get a leaf. Right here. And if I take a leaf and I put paint all over it, do you know? I'll put it way over here. Can you see it? It won't stick exactly, but I can take that leaf and I can make designs with it like this. And I wouldn't want to just make one, I would want to make another one. So let's put some more paint on it, and let's make another one. And after I've done this a little bit, I begin to see something in it. And sometimes I even splash like this. Now, let the salt work. See what's happening. Look at it. Look right here. See how the salt is working there? It's drinking it up. Now, Rip, how are you doing? Are you completely confused?
Oh, Miss Polly, that was lots of fun. You know, mine's almost dry now.
Oh, that's good, because I think it's time to show you the next step. I have some watercolor markers. And I know you all have crayons or you have markers. And these are watercolor markers. And let's see what Rip's done.
Well, Miss Polly, see? Let me show it to you here.
Oh, now, you know what's fun? You look at it. Let me turn it around a little bit.
Okay.
All right. I think I can see Rip in it.
You can?
Uh-huh. I can see a pink head and an eye.
Oh.
If I added ears to that, it would be Rip the Rabbit.
I see.
Want me to do that?
Well, Miss Polly, now, look right there at that yellow spot. That kind of looks like a little old cat's head or kitten
That's
head.
right. This is like the shape of a head. Here's the body. And look at that little foot. All right, let me get the marker. You want me to make that a little clearer?
Oh, I wish you would, Miss Polly.
All right, let's go ahead and give the little kitty some eyes and a little nose, little whiskers. The school artists are going to love discovering things like this in theirs, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
Now, let's see if I can get the rabbit in there. Oh, I've got to have ears, big, tall ears. See, I'll just draw right over there. All right. You know, I think I see some trees back there.
Trees?
Uh-huh.
Huh. Isn't that something?
Now, Rip, was this a hard lesson?
Leaves in the flowers, birds in the trees, nature's beauty, and things like these. Rivers and mountains, valleys so wide, stars in the heavens, deep blue they are. Everyday artists, the old and the new, color each day a bright golden hue. Now that we know you, our story begins. Come and be with